Time for tit rat racing.
Alright guys, here we are with old Leo the wanker, probably around 25 by now. We're at Metspark, Greg Huggins. Main thing we're up here for is, I know we said we're going to take it down to Battle Axe and get it spray painted one colour, the old girl, but things weren't happening. He gives us another kick in the guts, the electrical gremlins reappeared. So we thought once and for all we'll bring it up to Metspark and get it finally sorted out, which we did, as you've seen from the snippet at the start of the video. She's absolutely repping, so thanks to Greg yet again. Rightio, so what else have we got going on here, Beaver?
While I've been away at work, Dan's actually hooked the nitrous bottle up. All the nitrous lines are done. My favourite part, honestly, is the tacho right behind the steering wheel. He hates it, I love it. New set of shocks in it, and we took it for a rip, and yeah, goes well.
So alright, we'll let you watch the video, and just take it from there, guys. Cheers. Alrighty guys, Saturday morning, heading up to Huggies, Metspark. We're going to try and sort Leo out today, hopefully, so we can give it a good shit kicking through the paddock. Teach it a good damn lesson. Unfortunately, when I was loading it up, I noticed there was heaps of water coming out of the sill where the harmonic balancer goes through the timing belt covers. So I do believe that the water pump's letting a fair bit of water out of the telltale hole. So old Leo, yet again, is putting up a protest, doesn't want to get the shit smacked out of him, I guess. So either way, we're heading over there, we're going to see what we can't find, see what the crank angle sensors are doing, cam angle and that. Just try and sort out these gremlins once and for all so we can go smash it through the bog. So yeah, alright, once we get there I'll start shooting some footage and we'll just take it from there, guys. Alrighty. Rightio, so we got over to Huggy's place. We ended up taking the front off to try and find out where the water leak was coming from, and as we suspected, it was the water pump. And we found a lot more mess. See if I can get down below. This is after half a can of degreaser as well. So yeah, the shit, mud, grease, everything off from the above. So we're thinking we'll just clean it all up and put it back together as is. And then on closer inspection, if you have a look at the timing belt, I'll zoom in for you, just bear with me. You can see how cracked it is. So the RPM this is going to be chucking, hopefully. I'm not willing to risk that because it is an interference motor and it'll smash all the top end in the way of valves. So, and that'd write the motor off because it's just not worth doing anything to that. So Huggy's looked around and found us a cheap kit online. So we're getting that Monday, so we'll continue with that then. Leo wins another round. We just removed the water pump off the front. It didn't come off too easy, had to rip half the front of the motor off, but we got there in the end. And then we found where old Ratatouille's been living for a while. How's that for an elaborate setup behind me water pump in the valley of the motor? He would have spun the end in his first creek bed event, I could tip you. But yeah, failing that, we got it all apart, got all the pulley assembly off. So yeah, Huggy's on the phone now sorting out some parts. One thing I didn't show you was there's one of our, well, let me focus on. There's one of our cam angle sensors, and it's meant to look like that. And from what I can hear over behind me, they're not that cheap either. So unfortunately, we've got to replace one of those. We've got to do the water pump and timing belt, hydraulic adjuster, and the bearing or the idlers that it all runs around. So anyway, bloody Leo's won another round. There's only meant to be 10 rounds in a match, and he's up to 30. They say you can't polish a turd, but I just give it a damn good go then. Yeah, right. So as you can see, we've got a lot of the gunk off. You can actually see the timing marks now on both sides, which is going to make it a bit easier to align, I guess. So yeah, waiting for parts. We'll go and see what Tit Rat's up to. Alrighty, so we just left Metspark. All in all, we found a few issues. In short, noticed how the camera's well, and I've got my hand on the steering wheel, so I got a good wobble in my car as well. But in short, we noticed that the timing belt stuffed, full of cracks. Water pump was leaking like a sieve, so that's got to be replaced. Crank angle seats are stuffed as well, so we've got to replace that. It's all up about $350, maybe $400. Got the parts, I'll get here Monday. So yeah, I would have liked it to have been a bit cheaper, but in the end, I think we found one of the reoccurring gremlins, and that'd be that crank angle sensor. Failing that too, the seal behind on the crank was leaking too, so the crank angle sensor was basically sitting in a mob of grease, so that couldn't have been good for it either. Then the plate was like covered in it, so but either way, Monday we'll get those parts sorted out. We're about to go do some work on old tip rat, try and sort out some radiator lines and cut out that inner flare that I was showing you shortly. But in the meantime, we've headed up to the old office right there. Got the local characters, Dozzy and that. So yeah, have a quick beer and we'll head off. Alrighty people, here we are again. As you can clearly see, we've got the nitrous bottle hooked up in the rear. I've got to apologise, I haven't really filmed anything for the last 3 days just because we've been just trying to punch it out and get it done. So the nitrile bottle's all hooked up. You can see we've ran the line, curled it up underneath the seats. There's always a bit extra because it's meant to be in the boot, and because I've cut this thing in half, we don't have a boot as such, we've got a back seat. So runs up there to there, there's our solenoids mounted, obviously through the firewall to the fogger right there, about there, you can see it. So yeah, nitrous is all hooked up. If we go around to the front of the motor, you can see that all the timing cover's back on. So yeah, we put there, obviously, like I stated before, new crank angle sensor, water pump or tensioners, idler pulleys, new belt, which in turn made it awesome. So that's also a relief in that sense. What else have we done? We've got a new set of shocks on order for the rear, just waiting for Repco to drop them off to us. Actually getting to the end of the stage, like getting it mechanically running wise, I think we've pretty much nailed it. We've got to put a bit of coolant in the big girl. So me and Beegsy are going to smash it out today. We're still up at Met Spark, so I'm pretty sure he'd be glad to get her away after today, but today's the day. I was actually going to go down the hill and try and chase up some nitrous. I guess first things first, we'll try and not break it without nitrous before we break it with nitrous. So got to chase down a windscreen still got a fairly few cracks in there. So yeah, and then it'll be off to old Trevor Dawes at Battleaxe Spray Painting, and we'll get a lick of paint on her so she looks like Weller, I guess. So alrighty, out of here. Alrighty, so we've mounted the fuel pump properly, just made a bracket up with a bit of 2-inch pipe that we cut in half, threaded a hose clamp around it and just welded it to the chassis. So that there, as you can see, nice and strong, not going anywhere for us, so that's another thing ticked off the list. While I was doing that, Beebsy's mounted our big doof factor inside, a cheap $50 taco off of eBay, and you pretty much get exactly what you pay for, a $50 shitty taco off of eBay. But it's got a nice big bright red light, I guess. Beaver loves it, it's right in his face, he's thinking that's cool as shit. It's hiding the nitrous solenoids though, so what are you doing?
Oh, we'll relocate them.
So yeah, another 2 things ticked off the lid. At the moment, waiting for the old battery charger to finish charging. Put a bit more power in it. Getting closer and closer. Still waiting for Repco to drop our shocks off. Bit of coolant so we can bleed the system. But yeah, still going, guys.
So as you can see here, guys, Dan and I have actually lashed out and gone and bought some new shocks. They're definitely going to be better than the old ones we were going to use. As you can see, they're not in the best of nick, and to mount these we would have had to change some bracketry and stuff underneath the car. So instead of rooting around doing that, for a small price of $63 something each, we ended up with new shocks, and they're just going to bolt straight in. Alright, so Dan had to duck off and do a job, but as you saw before, we got some new shocks and I've just installed those, so we're one step closer to getting this thing out and giving it a bit of a test run. Alright guys, we're getting the last touches on the car before we take it for a test trip. As you can tell, we're all started up. All the fuel cell's good. Suspension has been done. We've got both of the seats in. There's Dan, there's Reynolds. Dan's cab's pretty good to go. Woo! Oh, we're in for a run, eh?
Yeah, we'll let it warm up and get the rest of the air out of the system, then we'll give it a rip.
Sweet. Looking forward to sitting in that.
Sounds like a nanger. Talking of smoke.
Are we going for a quick one? Alright guys, first lap in the race car. Let's go. Are you excited, Dan?
Oh yeah, this has been a long time coming. Yeah, that takes off, eh?
Fucking your rips, eh?
Just got to get the box back on and we're in. Just do a lap around and see where we're going. First time we've been on Hugs' property. Well, in the sense of cutting shit out of his paddock. I think we need to clean the windscreen too. I can't see.
Oh, we'll do it. Do a practice lap and then we'll... We'll clean the windscreen and we'll take that off.
I need to clean the front window and we need some insulation tape just to wrap around this box lid. It keeps wanting to fly on me.
Young Harry's just arrived on scene. What are you doing, Harry?
Cleaning.
Come clean this windscreen. Rightio guys, here we go. No seat belts, no nothing, take two.
Love it. Harry's parked there.
Right in the way. One job, Harry! What do you reckon, Dan? Thoughts?
Yeah, could go faster. We definitely need nitrous.
You want to melt some holes in some pistons?
We're not melting shit, brother, other than trophies. Engine goes nice.
It's really hard to film like this.
That's what I was saying before. Rocks. We're still good? Can be better with click click.
That's a good test.
Got some whir noises.
Got fans on?
Nah. We haven't wired them up yet.
Yeah, go ahead. I think it's starting to get warm.
Yeah. Backfiring a bit in the last lap.
There you go, guys. first practice lap in Leo, and I think we actually stonked it. What do you reckon, Dan?
Yeah, it was fun, that's for sure. Thank you, Mr. Huggy. Just going out to have a pee, and I was looking at the roost marks coming around the corner. We know she's a limmy, but we also see how she's lifting the leg on the front side. See how we got a nice 1.5 gap there, coming around fully sideways. This was third cog as well, still lifted there, barely touching there, and yet again lifted there. So yeah, all in all to say, she's pretty well balanced rig. She didn't go on the roof, so you got to be happy with that, eh?
Alright guys, thanks for watching the episode. Next week we're going to be plating out the front end. New shoes on the big girl. Shout out to Tox for letting us use his tyre machine. We're fully qualified tyre fitters now. Dan?
Yeah, we've done the 101 at Tox Tyre Services in Sawyers Valley there. But failing that, if you haven't already subscribed, which I know a lot of you haven't, make sure you do. It makes it better for us. We like to see that it's actually being seen by people. As always, big shout out George from TJ Signs, Greg from MedSpark, and we haven't used him as of yet, but old Trevor Dawes from Battle Axe Spray Painting. So as I always say, if you guys got any work for those guys, they're going to bowl it out with aces on top, no dramas at all. So until next week, keep it easy.
Thanks for watching.
Catches.